Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 457. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Let's go. Let's get it going today.
You
know what? I don't care. I don't care that it's August. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if it's Wednesday. Let's go. Let's get it going.
There's not even any breaking news, but I had to sound the alarm. There's no breaking news.
Let's just get it going, you know?
Let's get it going. Hey, super random right off the top. I put a post out today. I somehow ended up on Threads. You know the app Threads?
Heard about it. I thought that faded out pretty quickly.
It's pretty much dead, but every now and then when you're scrolling Instagram, it'll show you it'll give you a post or a preview of a post, and I'm like, ooh, that they do a really good job of putting ones out that they know I'm gonna click.
This is like the Zuckerberg version of Twitter?
Twitter, yeah.
Okay.
So I was scrolling and I saw one, I don't know if it was directed at, or I don't know if it was specific to baseball or just sports in general. The post was from Guillotier.
Sure.
Simply said, stop having a, quote, second favorite team. What are your thoughts on that? Because I feel like that's something that is not addressed enough, specifically talking baseball. Because I've seen more comments, reading through threads, replies, comments, whatever, of people being like, I love the Yankees, but the Reds are my second favorite team. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
What?
I don't get that.
That's not allowed.
I don't get that.
Shouldn't be a thing.
This is the problem with the generation coming up that didn't watch baseball growing up and probably still doesn't really watch that much. I think they just fall in love with a specific player and they just kind of stay on that route.
Which even if you do that, that's fine. But stick to that team. This whole thing of having a multiple favorite teams kind of defeats the purpose of having a favorite team. It kind of dilutes the favorite element of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of like a safety net.
Exactly.
If you will, where you're like, hey, this is my team, but you can't hate me because I also root for this team that everyone loves and no one has anything bad to say about.
There's zero emotional commitment in that scenario because to use the example, if you're a Yankees fan, the Yankees fall flat on their faces. Well, I didn't even really care because I'm a Reds person anyway. I don't know why you'd be a Reds and a Yankees person, but I've seen crazier things. Yeah. And so when you do that, you don't have to go through the highs and lows.
Yeah,
of your sports team. It's an easy cop out, and it's lazy. I'll just say it's lazy.
Yeah. I don't know. There was that. Yeah, I remember watching the weird video where they went to Billy's outside of Yankee Stadium, which is the main club. There's stands. There's the old school bar, very short and narrow, and then there's Billy's, which is turns into a club. And I think it was John Boy or something like that going around their media thing, going around asking random fans who their second favorite team is. And I'm I don't, and they all had answers. All of them had answers.
That's
and I'm
alarming.
It's not how it works. I don't understand. I'm not a fan of it. I don't understand. It's live and die. I live and die with the Yankees. I love good baseball. I'm not going to stop watching other teams. I'm not going to enjoy watching other not enjoy watching not enjoy watching other players. I enjoy watching other players.
There you go.
Yeah.
Two negatives make a positive.
But at the same time, I'm not going to I'll happily scream at my TV for a Yankees game, but I'm not going to do that for the Marlins. Let's go Marlins though.
Let's go Marlins. Sorry for the rant off the top. Just had to get your take on it because I was curious.
I have a rant.
Oh, let's hear it.
It's not a baseball rant.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just a stupidity rant. I do sales for work.
Yep.
I'm on the phone a lot, talking to people all around the country. There is a scary, and when I mean scary, I'm going to go ahead and say like 8 out of 10 people don't know what time zone they're in. Because I got to like link up like, hey, like if I put it in my calendar, they're asking for 5 o'clock, but like, great, that's not 5 o'clock across the board. And then I say what time zone they're in, and you'd be surprised how many people are absolutely baffled with that question, that 5th grader question. It's scary.
A follow-up to that, and I would ask you which one you think is scarier. I'm not going to name names, but we know somebody out here that works for the government, being like right down the road from DC. Somebody works in the government out here. We're friends with them. Actually, I may not even say we're friends with them for legal purposes. I'll just say we're acquaintances. Yeah. This individual asked us, just like in passing, we were talking about our trip out to Hawaii, and they followed up with, is Hawaii one of our 50 states? They work for the U.S. government. I don't know which one's scarier, whether or not
we're in shambles. There's no other way to say it.
We're in trouble. But I tell you what, Major League Baseball is trying to do its best to trying to save the country. They're bringing Major League Baseball to Bristol Motor Speedway next year. They said if this ship is going down, we're at least going to try to get a game at a racetrack first.
Isn't Bristol in Connecticut?
No. Yes, but that's
different
not
Bristol?
This Bristol. This Bristol is in Tennessee. Actually, we're talking about things that people may or may not know. I feel like I should know this. Yep, sure. Yeah, Bristol, Tennessee. There's a Bristol, Virginia, I believe. I definitely should know that. Yep, city in Virginia. Yep. But they're bringing the game to Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol Motor Speedway. It's going to be between the Reds and the Braves. The last time that the Bristol Motor Speedway had a sporting event outside of a race was if you recall, which is mind-blowing that this was 8 years ago, or it's going to be 9 by the time they do it, is back in 2016, the Tennessee Volunteers took on the Virginia Tech Hokies. And you know how many fans they drew for that game?
I'm assuming college football, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go with 120,000.
157,000 fans.
Ooh, boy.
It was I believe, the highest attended college football game of all time. But I was curious. I was like, okay, well, what about baseball? That's all fine and dandy for college football, but what about baseball? So I had to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
It was which I gotta admit, I don't know if I really remember this all that much. I vaguely remember it, but it was the exhibition game, preseason exhibition between the Dodgers and the Red Sox back in 2008 at the LA Coliseum. And that brought in 115,000 people.
Hey, look, being someone who has been to like a like a sport in a different stadium, arena, event thing, I think there's ways that can make this very cool, and there's also ways that can absolutely ruin this. I'm curious because like I'm looking, because just to confirm, the shape of a motor speedway is, a lot like an oval.
Correct.
I just wanted to confirm that. I'm really struggling to understand like what the setup's going to be like.
Well,
and do we got like a polo ground situation going on?
Well, I can give you a little bit of context, maybe give you a little bit of assistance in trying to understand what this could potentially look like, because that exhibition game at the LA Coliseum back in 2008, I did some digging around because like I said, I vaguely remembered it. So I'm like, we got to figure out the dimensions here. Mm-hmm. The only dimension that I was able to find in my brief research was the left field fence. You have any guesses how far back the left field fence was? Mind you, this is in a coliseum where they played college football, and pretty sure it had a track, like an Olympic style track.
Yeah,
but it was they could fit a college football field in the middle.
I'm gonna say like 275.
The left field fence was 250 feet away. I kid you not. And look, if you're bored, like if you're listening to this at work on Thursday or Friday, whenever you listen to this, and you're bored, pull up the highlights on YouTube of this exhibition game between the Red Sox and Dodgers. It is comical. It is hilarious. I'm pretty sure the first highlight that popped up on the video I watched was a Rafael Furcal rope down the left field line, barely legs out a single, but no interest in advancing, and like the ball was smoked. And I'm pretty sure I didn't check the replay, but I'm pretty sure he was like a quarter of the way to first base by the time the ball got to the fence. 250 feet away. And here's the thing, to alleviate or to get ahead of or prevent excessive home run hitting, they put. Do you have a guess as to how high the screen was in left field that they put above this 250-foot fence?
How high is the green monster?
37 feet.
I was gonna say 39. Okay, so let's go 25 feet high.
According to Vin Scully on the broadcast, because he was there calling that game.
I trust Vin Scully.
And he said it multiple times. And there was a conflicting number that I found online, but I'm going to go ahead and trust the guy that's there calling the game that we can all safely assume did his research leading up to it.
I would vote for Vin Scully for president, I think. If that time ever came.
If it ever got to that point, we would have certainly voted Vin Scully.
I think I would have done it.
According to Vin Scully on the broadcast in real time, he said the fence above the fence to prevent home runs was 65 feet high. It was a circus. So
that's a lot.
I say
that's crazy.
That's okay. That's basic math here. That's like a little less than 3 green monsters, ish. No, 2.
Less than 2.
37 times.
What time
2.
zone are you in?
That'd be 74. Yeah, a little less than 2. I'm in the Eastern time zone. Hawaii. Yes, Hawaii is a 50th state. So yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what we're working with. I'm not saying I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's not going to be that crazy for this game, given that it's going to be a regular season game and it's not like an exhibition that they're throwing together.
We know it's a regular season game.
Actually, that's a good point, because I guess let's rewind here. Technically, they haven't made the announcement, which this stuff always cracks me up. It's like the person that leaked this information, as I was reading, had to share this information under the cover of anonymity because they have not officially made the announcement. That announcement, I believe, is coming Friday. I think old Uncle Robbie Manfred will be there in attendance at Bristol for this announcement. Who's
what do you
to really
think
say?
this is, man?
I'm guessing it's got to be a regular season game, because I think we're past the point. Like we're becoming a much more national game, and if you're going to pull off an event like this, there needs to be some meat behind it. It can't just be like here's
150,000 fans.
Yeah, here's a spring training game. I don't think they're going to be doing all that just for that.
Do you think this is just to like feel out what baseball could be in Tennessee? Because there's word there's rumors. You know, there's a lot of people clamoring for Tennessee to, specifically the Nashville area.
I mean, they got baseball in Nashville. They got baseball in Nashville. It's a good point, though. It's a great point.
Like, test out the market a little bit. You know,
the timing is interesting. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
we got the A's moving, and then there's rumors of expansion.
A lot of word of expansion. A lot of word. I don't know. So like, what's center field going to be? I'm still pretty lost on how we're looking at these dimensions. I'm going to be pissed if I'm playing center field that day. I'm not thrilled.
I mean, just looking at a racetrack, you have to assume one of the corners is going to be a very, very short porch.
Right. And then
center's just a wide open pasture. I couldn't tell you.
And like, do you have fans just like casually sitting like behind home plate that are like 200 feet away from home plate?
That was the other thing. Okay, so if you go back and look at that, if and when you look up the highlights from that LA Coliseum exhibition, you'll notice that the backstop, it's very, I mean, obviously it's makeshift, but they didn't really put much effort into that at all. And if you look in that video, if you look down the first base line, they had like those white temporary fences, like the white plasticky type fences going down the first base line. I'm like, what are we? Is this a Sunday League softball championship game? What are we doing?
It gives me that vibe quite a bit.
So I'll have to say the setup and situation is going to be rather intriguing.
I like how just like MLB fans are just like, hey, can we just get better umpires? And MLB's like, we're going to Tokyo. We're playing in London. We're playing in Tennessee. We're going to do it in a freaking motor speedway.
Hey,
we're just like, hey, any chance we could like maybe not have 2-hour games? And they're like, we're expanding to 4 more cities. We're going to move the A's. Like, just doing
new uniforms.
Just doing everything but what we need.
Commissioner, is it all right if maybe if we're paying for MLB TV, like if we could actually just watch our local team? I'll tell you what, I'll do you one better, baseball fan. I'm going to put you in a seat 3.5 miles away from home plate in Bristol, Tennessee, and you're going to like it.
And I want you to buy this paper-thin, authentic game jersey.
That's what we're dealing with.
What a mess.
What a mess.
I'll still watch.
Who knows? We may end up even going on a whim. We may even be there. Who knows?
I'm down for the, you know how like, I've never been to any of these races, like NASCAR, Indy. I've never been to any of those, but I hear that they are insane.
It's legit.
And like that like strip in the middle is just like RVs and stuff, right? Just people like tailgating in the middle,
on the infield, yeah.
Is that what they call it? The infield?
Yeah.
What if we just like have that going on like on the sides? You know what I'm saying? So like the gaps where there aren't seats, that is where all the RVs are parked. And there's just like people drunk on top of their RVs, just like,
hey. Look, baseball has a real chance at a pretty epic crossover here.
Or the dugout is one big RV, and the guys just come out of the RV.
How about they just leave the plane to us? Let's do that.
I mean, what are we doing? Got this whole thing mapped out. Let's make center field 765 feet. We're gonna make left field 220. We're gonna have drunk rednecks hanging out in an RV in foul territory.
I can't wait.
I love it. I wish I was one of those drunk rednecks personally. Sounds nice.
I think most White Sox fans wish they were still drunk following that losing streak that is actually no longer. White Sox officially snapped it at 21 games. They said we're of legal drinking age and we're not going a year. We're not going a single digit higher. We're going to cut it at 21. They finished one short of the AL record, and I want to say, what did we say last episode? It was the Phillies.
I don't know.
23 back in 61. So yeah, the streak is officially over. So if you combine, I know Frank Thomas alluded to this on the broadcast. We kind of shed some light on it.
Frank Thomas knows about the time zones for sure.
But if you combine those two losing streaks, they had a 14-game losing streak earlier this season and then a 21. So combined, that would be 35 games worth of just horrendous losing streaks. Did you by chance see who they had to thank for getting them on the board? And who actually has been swinging a rather hot bat as of late?
Oh, no. I thought you were going a different direction. What are you talking about?
Andrew Benintendi.
Oh, yeah.
Who at one point in the season was on pace to just have the worst season of all time.
He still might be, but
he
obviously listened to the last episode.
I don't know though. Let's pull it up here real quick. Because he actually went deep today.
I think it's by WAR. I think that was the stat that he was.
But I mean, you have to.
WAR's stupid.
Yeah, but you also have to imagine.
I said it.
That's
I'm just
fine.
getting that out there.
You've made that clear. You also have to imagine like there are some counting stats there too that are affected by this. Look, his last 4 games, 3 home runs.
Obviously, a Hall of Famer. He's on track.
Okay, well, I mean, there's really no sense in taking unnecessary shots. And the guy's clearly having.
I think he's earned.
He's going through. No, he's going through it this year. The guy has to play for the White Sox.
I know. I get that. I was gonna say. I thought you were going the other direction. Our guy, friend of the pod, Ross Stripling, was the one that gave this one up. Also, another friend of the pod, Jessica Kleinschmidt, said that the A's thought it would be a good idea to play 22 by Taylor Swift throughout the stadium before the game. Did you see that? Feeling 22. And sure enough,
I did
throw in the meme that the White Sox took offense to that.
I'll be honest, I didn't have much confidence in the A's being able to.
I know. I wish this lined up.
business.
I wish this lined up differently. But we still have time. Maybe they can go on another run.
Yeah, but we lost the chance at firework night. If they were going to break the all-time modern or the modern era record, which was previously 26, their 27th loss would have been what, against the Cubs or something? Would that have been next week?
Why is it firework night?
It had to been. I don't know. It was a Friday night. They're playing the Cubs. We talked about this, didn't we?
I don't think so. Who's firework night?
At Guaranteed Rate Field, if they would have set the all-time record at 27,
it would have been on firework night.
It would have been on firework night, and they would have had a nice celebration of it.
Sometimes,
and I'm a little disappointed we missed out on that.
Sometimes you really want things in sports, and it's okay to be disappointed. I'm pretty bummed about that. That would have been excellent. That would have been really good.
Or was it in Chicago? Hold on. Well, you know what I mean. At Wrigley.
Yeah.
Was it at Wrigley?
I didn't hear this. I didn't see any of this. Just questioning why there's random firework night when we had 4th of July a month ago.
Now, how does that make sense? Sorry, okay. No. I don't know where I got 27 from. 23. The Phillies.
Oh, we were that close?
The modern day MLB record was 23.
Damn it. One job.
So, because I was trying to figure out the math. I'm like, are we talking about like 2 Fridays from now? No, it would have been this Friday. And it would have been at home. And we missed out on it. But do not worry, though. Despite the win, the White Sox are still, as you would imagine, at the absolute bottom. Coming into action today, Wednesday, they're 41 games out in the Central. and they are 26 and a half games back behind the Tigers, who are the next worst team in the division.
Maybe just move them to Tennessee.
No, Tennessee deserves way better than the White Sox, and I will stand on that. Their negative, again, coming into Wednesday, their negative 241 run differential is 70 runs worse than the next worst team in baseball. A Rockies run differential of negative 177.
Yeah, it's a tough look.
What about the winning percentage, you ask? I'm glad you asked.
I did bring that up. Yes.
The 1916 Philadelphia Athletics at 37 and 117 had a winning percentage of 235 and are the worst team in MLB's modern era in terms of winning percentage. Right now, the Phillies, or with the win, I should say, coming into play on Wednesday, they improved to, and they lost to close out the series against Oakland. But this is coming into Wednesday. Improved to 28 and 88. So they're at 241, or they were at 241. So we're on win percentage watch here.
Why don't we have like the like E for eliminated on standings yet? When is that going to happen?
It's very possible. I mean, it's very possible that doesn't even kick in. Like even if it's accurate, the system's like there's no way a team could be eliminated this early in the season. So
yeah.
we're gonna start.
I think the guy that like probably presses that button is just like on vacation still. You know,
probably.
What I mean? He's like, I don't even get back until September.
Right. And I'll take a look at it at the start of September, and Buddy is in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, he's missed out a lot. You
would imagine that a guy like that's probably on vacation at a place where he's not getting cell service. So he has no idea what's happening in Chicago.
I get the run differential thing, but I'm looking now. There's no other team that has scored less than 400 runs. And they're at 360.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like they haven't scored 400 runs yet.
Oh, with the loss today, they dropped to 239 in the win percentage column. So we're 4 percentage points away from making this dream a reality. Or 5 if you want sole possession of first. Or last, I guess you could say.
I need this. I
need it. This is like what, a couple years ago when we're on 70 win watch for the Padres. This is far different, but we're going to be keeping an eye on this down the stretch because we could be looking at quite literally the worst baseball team of all time.
Damn.
That's what did we do to deserve this? This is a gift. Like you don't get to see, I mean, good or bad. You don't get to see things like this very often. And here we are.
It's history, Just soak it in. Soak in that history.
I mean, the Earth is like 3.5 billion years old, and we just happen to be on the planet the same time the White Sox were the worst team in baseball ever. Crazy.
I always forget the manager's last name. Pedro what?
Grifol.
Guys, I mean, is this his last job in baseball?
I don't know. I mean, we mentioned it last episode because they were talking. Ozzie Guillen was talking about it on the broadcast. He's 100 games under as manager. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What?
To literally do anything else.
I get it. There's no sense in firing a guy like this when this is just going to be what the rest of the year is going to be. But like,
yeah, I mean, now there's no point in firing him now.
I get it.
But
why didn't this happen in like May? They didn't know they were going to be this bad in May. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a bad taste in my mouth.
Speaking of bad taste in your mouth, I'm sure Framber Valdez has a bad taste in his after losing his no-hitter in the 9th via a Corey Seager 2-run homer, right? I believe he walked. Was that Josh Smith before? Yeah, before. Mm-hmm. Were you were watching this game, weren't you? Because I saw you
popped it on in the ninth to right on time. Watch that walk, and then I watched. I think it was walk, double play, walk, Seager home run.
That sounds right.
I think that was the order.
This was weirdly one of the very rare few times that I was unaware that this was happening, because usually like I'll be.
This didn't hit till he's through 8.
I know.
Get the alert.
I usually get an update or like a notification. I get 7th. I see the little like no hitter flag on MLB TV when they put it like below the score, or I don't know, somebody's texting about it. I see it on Twitter. I saw nothing, and so I have people like messaging me and text me the link to the Seager home run and like, oh, this sucks. And I'm like, why are we hating on Corey Seager?
Yeah.
Finally come to find out that he broke up the no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth. So tough for Framber. And it was almost on the 1-year anniversary of his no-hitter last year. That was pretty crazy. That was the August 1st last year, I believe.
Saw that. I think I saw that Seager also broke up a no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth.
Little trivia. Do you know whose it was? Back in 2016. Second time he's done it in his career. You're not going to get it.
No, it's a random name.
Very. Well, I guess it depends on who you ask, but to the average fan, pretty random. Matt Moore.
Tough.
Back in 2016. Framber Valdez, though, this is just what the Astros have needed. His last 5 appearances, dating back to July 10th, he's 4-0 with an ERA at a clip of 2.41.
Yeah,
with 41 strikeouts over that span.
Everyone's dogging on that Kikuchi trade, including us, and then next thing you know, he turns into freaking Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, can we? I was tweeting at the Astros after they put up the final score graphic. I said the Astros need to be investigated for bamboozling the rest of the league for this acquisition, because they clearly knew something that we didn't.
Yeah. Mans was just, I mean, he's a depth piece.
I mean, the last 2 outings respectively, his first outing with the Astros was against the Rays, put up 11 Ks over 5 2/3, only allowed 3 hits, 2 earned runs. Today goes 5 1/3 against the Rangers on the road, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, and 8 Ks. 19 strikeouts over his last 2 starts with the Astros. There's only 2 starts with the Astros.
Yeah, I don't get that. No habla.
I mean, what could the explanation of that even be? Like, where would you even begin to start trying to explain? Like, how it doesn't make any sense. Change of scenery. That seems like that's a fallback. I feel like a lot of times. But how do you go from being just garbage to doing what he's doing now? And I understand it's 2 starts, but
were they both in Houston?
No, the one today was on the road in Texas or in our
yeah, I gotcha.
Freaking
words.
Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, ballpark in Arlington,
Hawaii,
Choctaw Stadium, Globe Life Field. It's all the same thing.
Pretty nuts, man. Pretty nuts. Whatever he's got going on is wild. I still think that was a stupid trade in the end, for the amount of talent they gave up. But
I mean, would you give that up for Sandy Koufax?
That's a good point. It's a good point. When you put it like that, you know, you say Koufax. You say Sandy. I say Koufax.
Wow.
Yeah, no, look, dude, like we talked about, I don't know why anyone's surprised, like that. Just pay attention to the back of a baseball card and you understand that like this rotation and this team, it was coming and they're coming down the stretch hot as ever. So If you're the Mariners, you got to be sweating bullets.
No, for sure. And the Astros, we've touched on that already, and that's, I mean, we've talked about it. You could see that coming a mile away. That's not the surprising element. To me, I'm talking like specifically, you say, like it just doesn't make sense. And if it continues at this rate, if he maintains this, I'm like, okay, well then what was going on in Toronto then? But yeah, the Astros thing as a whole, the direction they're headed, the momentum they've been playing with doesn't surprise me in the least. Go ahead and chalk that up as a division win for them this year, division title. Speaking
I
of
actually laughed when it happened, by the way. So good for Corey. I like Corey Seager. Minus the Adidas branding.
Yeah, that's a rough look.
Yeah, that ain't the move.
Not the move.
Sucker? So care?
Soccer. I was going to say, speaking of divisions,
speaking of not the move, I don't know where you're going with this.
Let's talk about the American League East here real quick. Another brutal blow for the Orioles rotation. Grayson Rodriguez was announced today. He's headed to the IL with what they're calling lat teres discomfort.
Very good. And that was a last second scratch, wasn't it? It was like 30 minutes before game time.
I like minutes.
Less?
Yeah,
Really?
it was minutes, and they showed the video. I don't know if it was from like the center field camera.
Oh, that's right.
Elsewhere.
He's like, I don't feel right.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not feeling good,
Dude.
So people were speculating when it first happened because, with the whole, a lot of what I saw was these people that were like betting on the game. They're like, yo, this was like last minute. It screwed up my, screwed up my parlay. I don't know how that stuff works last minute. I don't know if it like voids it or if it like how that.
It depends.
How that works.
DraftKings typically gives you your money back.
But that's a lot of what I saw. But the non-degenerates that were talking about the news, they were like, is he sick? Is he ill? Because it's something so last minute. You got to think like, oh, maybe he's dehydrated. Maybe came down with something. Because usually,
yeah,
if you're not feeling right, a lot of times that's like a wake up in the morning and like my back is locked up or something to that effect.
Yeah,
but
it's like Chipotle from last night. Not the move.
He went through his whole pregame routine, got to the end minutes before the game, was like, yeah, I'm out. So he'll be on the 15-day IL, retroactive to the 4th.
Orioles fans are going through it, man. Going through it. They're in a weird. I think if you're everyone else in baseball, if you're a fan of any other team and you're just like on the outside looking in, you're like, the Orioles are fine. Like, imagine complaining about all this and you're still right there in contention as one of the best teams in baseball. Imagine complaining about this and this is your roster. But if you kind of take a little bit of a deeper dive, dude, like
no, for sure.
There's some trouble there.
For sure. But isn't there some validity to that argument too? Like the people on the outside going, okay, yeah, you're beat up, but you're not like, I mean, you're 20 games over 500 still.
Yeah.
So like how much do you really expect us to feel bad for you? Like I'm sure Braves fans are looking at this going,
I don't think anyone
cry me a
feels
river.
Bad. I don't think anyone feels bad. I think there's some things that Orioles fans are witnessing, and it's probably similar to like us Yankee fans where we're just like, I can see the underbelly. I can see the Achilles heel. It wasn't addressed at the deadline. You can still sneak out wins, but I still feel like there's issues there that are going to be exposed. And I think Orioles fans are starting to say the same thing about their own team. And oddly enough, there's a combination of injuries and it's also some bonehead moves by managers. There's a lot of correlations.
A manager. They have one manager. That's singular.
No, I'm saying Yankees managers and Orioles managers.
I see.
are one and the same as far as questionable decisions.
I see what you're saying. And the Orioles fans are getting this weird false hope that they're getting Felix Bautista back. Have you seen that?
I saw that bullpen that he was throwing.
So I don't know. I don't know what timetable that's looking like. If there even is one, that I don't see that happening. But I would get it. If you have to deal with the roller coaster that is Craig Kimbrell, I would be latching on to everything, every single thing that would give me a sliver of hope that you don't have to deal with that anymore. So I understand. Even if it's irrational, unrealistic, I get it.
Yeah. Either way, they're a very emotional bunch.
I mean, we all are at times.
No, I get that.
Every fan base.
For coming out of the woodwork and saying, all the things they said for the first few months, it's just interesting the way they're acting now. Just saying.
I understand.
Get off my Twitter feed, by the way. Like, relax. Everything I see is like
Orioles fans.
Yeah.
You have our good friend Ryan Ripken to thank for that.
Goodness, bro.
Speaking of feed, I'm seeing in the comments that I got some family watching from down in North Carolina. So
down in North Carolina.
Hello to the family down in North Carolina. Appreciate you tuning in. What else we got on here?
I thought you were going the other feed when we said feed, like horse feed or like cattle feed. I wasn't sure if you had something there.
Nope. Really little to no reason to talk about horse or cattle feed.
We're covering a lot today. A lot of time zone.
You're right.
Talk.
We are bouncing around a lot.
Is Hawaii a state? Crazy. Go to school, kids. Stay there.
Just to clarify for maybe some folks that are just now joining the live stream, that was not my question of whether Hawaii was a state. You'll have to go back to the beginning of the episode and figure out why we were talking about that. But speaking of bouncing around, it's time for some Say the Same Player.
Yeah.
I really liked your idea last episode of establishing a Hall of Fame for the answers that we get correct. So as it stands right now, the names that we have gotten correct, in order, Justin Morneau is a 3-person Hall of Fame as it stands right now. Assuming I didn't miss anybody. Justin Morneau, Roberto Clemente, and last episode, Barry
finally
Bonds.
Getting in. Mr. Bonds.
Barry Bonds finally gets into the Hall.
If only you were wearing that ASU hat last time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Probably not the Hall of Fame he wants to be in, but I would argue it's an even greater honor than even the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It's a big deal.
If we're being honest. So let's see if we can add a 4th member, shall we?
Okay. No repeated names to start off. Cannot mention a name that has been, which we haven't really gone crazy. You say Kikuchi.
We've thrown some names out there.
Rafael Furcal was dropped early.
So you can't start with Rafael Furcal.
Love that. That's a throwback name.
All right.
So
let me establish let me pick a name here. You were gonna say something? You said so?
No. I was just wasn't sure if you had something in mind. Something.
All right, I got a name.
Something relevant in mind. Oh, you get mad when I do that, so I won't do that.
Let's not be laying down clues for me to pick up on. This isn't.
No, you get mad when I start with a retired player, so I won't do that.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, start here and now. Start with whoever you want, but I just think it's easier if we kind of at least start on the same page in that regard. But you just start with whoever you want. Maybe I'll switch it up. Maybe I'll go retired player. Throw you off the scent a little bit.
Makes me want to not listen to you.
Pick a name.
All right.
And let's ride.
All right. Ready?
3, 2, 1. Rafael Devers.
I was trying to listen to you while I was saying it. Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson. There we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Dansby Swanson and Rafael Devers. All right.
When I heard Devers, it kind of went into the Swanson pronouncing
Dansby Devson
words. So we've got Rafael Furcal and no, I'm just kidding. So Devers and Dansby. Devers and Dansby.
Right. So the groundwork has been laid. We're underway now.
Devers and Dansby.
Also, I suggested last episode we limit ourselves to 5, but I think we can stick with 10 as long as we don't linger. We don't linger too long.
Play the song.
I don't like playing the song. It stresses me out.
Well, you know.
I mean, I can if you want me to.
I've already moved on in my brain, so.
Do we want the song or not?
Well, you do you. I'm just over here calculating my names.
I'll play the song, count us down, and if it stresses me out, I'm turning it off.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna let it finish.
All right.
All right. Dansby Swanson, Rafael Devers.
So you didn't play the song?
I moved on in my head.
I'm aware. I could tell.
All right. Dansby Swanson, Rafael Devers. All right, I got a guy.
Let me just get there.
Wait.
Hold on.
Yeah, got a guy.
Why? Who?
I just got a guy. Oh no, I got a new guy. This guy's way better.
It just hits like that?
Yeah, it hits just like that.
I have no clue.
Well, you got to come up with somebody.
Okay.
Do you have a name?
Sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Jason
David
Hayward.
Ross.
That's a great name. Good job.
Right.
I was trying to go through the archives to get there.
Jason Hayward, little to nothing.
Nothing. That's why I ran. That's why. Yeah. That's why. Yeah.
That's fair though. All right.
Yeah.
So David Ross, Jason Hayward. David Ross and Jason Hayward.
Let's roll.
You got a guy?
Yeah, sure. I feel good about this. I think we're going to be fairly zeroed in fairly quickly.
This name came to mind, and just for the sake of not spending more time thinking about another name, I'm just going to go with it. But I probably could have come up with something better. But I'm just going to roll with it.
Me too. That was same.
All right.
Paste that.
This is our third guess. 3, 2, 1.
Anthony
William
Rizzo.
Contreras. All right,
we're doing something here. You know what I mean? We're doing something.
Yep. We're zeroing in. Okay, fourth guess. William Contreras and Anthony Rizzo. All right, I got a guy. Fourth guy.
Okay.
Or fourth guess. 3, 2, 1. Chris Bryant. Let's go.
I told you. Is that a new record? Fourth guess?
Fourth. That's got to be close. I think the one before that was maybe 6.
See, this is the problem with not going retired guys. You know what I mean? Like, I know we had retired guys mixed in, but starting, it's just like, it just starts very close. Just starts very narrow.
You're saying it gives us too much of an advantage.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, one could argue that we have to start with one retired, one active.
That's fine. That's fair.
And we decide that you pick one, I pick one before we go for the first name.
Well, I'm looking at this through the lens of the Hall of Fame, this Hall of Fame that we've established, and you could really draw parallels here to like the way the rules have evolved in baseball, where it's like, well, now we're grandfathering guys in here that were brought in via different rules and requirements, and now moving forward, if we're gonna change the requirements up and the way we go about this game. Some people are going to have
one
the
could
feelings
argue I could bounce Chris Bryant. One could argue that the other names it was a more difficult path to get there. They earned their spot in the Hall of Fame.
Well,
this one was
no, like we talk about though. If you're you could be unanimous or make it in by the skin of your teeth on the last year of the ballot. But a Hall of Famer is a Hall of Famer, so we have to respect the Hall.
Well, I like the new rule. If we're willing to move forward with that,
that's fine. We'll just have to grandfather.
We'll take it to the committee. We'll
have to grandfather Chris Bryant in.
It's fine.
Some very questionable selections, if we're being honest. Our last two, Barry Bonds and Chris Bryant, making it into the Hall.
Well,
but this is our Hall.
This is our game.
This is our game. These are our rules. These are our guys. All right, we got to get you out of here in like 3 minutes. So go ahead and lead us off with your weekend series to watch. What do we got coming up this weekend?
Oh, boy. I've got, at the time of this recording, the standings here. The Minnesota Twins are 3.5 games back from the Cleveland Guardians at the moment. So I'm going to take them matching up for a 4-game set this weekend. That starts Manana with a doubleheader. I believe Alex Cobb is making his debut with the Guardians. First game, right? Because he said he was doing a little
they had him on a
rehab stint.
Yep.
So Alex Cobb going against Bailey Ober. Game Juan. That's a makeup game from 2 days ago, I guess. I don't know. That's what it says. Don't listen to me. Yesterday. I don't know what date it is. Game 2. Gotcha. It's an Apple TV game. I don't know who the pitchers will be, so just tune in anyway. Game 3 Saturday. This is all in Minnesota, by the way. Gavin Williams going against Simeon Woods Richardson, and then Game 4 on Sunday. Undecided for Cleveland, and something D Festa for the Minnesota Twins, Mr. Fiesta Festa. So, in all seriousness, though, like this is something. You know what I mean? Can the Twins narrow the gap? If the Guardians walk away with it, I mean, this is a 4-game set. Like, there's enough to do some damage here. If one of these teams takes 3 out of 4 and wins this series, it changes a lot. So, yeah, good series to watch. And
we still got decent amount of ball left to play, but we're late enough in the season to where if the Guardians do some damage this weekend,
that's like if they sweep, you're talking 6-7 game gap.
Yeah,
like that's
good luck.
Yeah,
good luck. All right, for me, speed round here. You are going to want to tune in to this series if you are a fan of pitching. The Pirates at the Dodgers, game 1 on Friday. We've got Mitch Keller going up against Jack Flaherty.
Great.
That game is at 10:10 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Game 2, we got Paul Skeens going up against River Ryan. That's at 9:10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
On Saturday. And game 3, the finale, on Sunday, we've got Bailey Falter versus Tyler Glasnow. That's a 4:10 p.m. Eastern game. That's some good ball right there.
This is some good pitching. If you like that kind of thing, if you're into that.
I mean, the fact that we're highlighting the Pirates post All-Star break, I think
that's a big deal.
Just speaks to where they're at this year. Shout out Pirates. All right. Well, we got to get you out of here, and we finish exactly at 8:00 on the dot. So let's have a good rest of your week. Let's have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Do the dang thing. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.